It's getting harder and harder for true science-minded people to continue to deny the fact that God exists. This is especially true in the field of molecular biology, wherein more evidence of intelligent design is discovered daily. After all, it is in this field, genetic molecular science, that triggered lifelong philosopher Antony Flew to abandon his previous atheistic view, of which he held for the greater part of his 84-year life. Most of that life was spent debating with believers about the existence of God. However, by 2004, Flew publicly denied that life could have come from matter alone. Eventually, Flew came to insist that the laws of nature could only have come from a divine mind. In other words, there must be a God. The sudden reversal caused quite an uproar amongst his previous disciples and followers. Of course, they accused him of dementia instead of hearing his sound argument. This is the usual default of the left, because it is much easier to hurl names instead of investing the time to study the actual argument. He used scientific study of DNA as a basis of his conclusion, saying, not only is there a creator, but a super intelligent one as well. From that time, even more has been discovered in the science of molecular biology that prove that the process of cell development and life itself are even more complex than ever imagined. At that time, we knew that cells were comprised of over 3 billion nucleotides contained in a double helix, an information system that carries enough information that it would fill over 200 phone books, all of which are arranged in precise order and replicates itself exactly trillion times over. Think of DNA as a strand of continuous password on your email. It would take the average person typing 60 words per minute, 8 hours a day, around 50 years to type one human genome. On top of that, there are only 4 chemicals used in DNA. They are adenine, thymine, cytosine, and guanine. These are the same chemicals used in all creation of life as we know it. In other words, trees, crabs, squids, rhinos, dogs, and every other form of life, with the exclusion of some viruses, use the exact same 4 chemical bases to make life. The only difference is the order in which the DNA code is constructed. Each code is different from the other, but also similar in many ways. The point is that there are perhaps billions of life forms on the planet. Each has its own DNA code that is created for that species. Each one is given the ability to procreate and replicate itself as needed. What's more, it can change as needed for the survival of that species. This is where Darwinist evolution gained their traction. However, it has been scientifically proven over and over again that cells do not change into other species, completely disproving the Darwinian hypothesis, thus making the theory of evolution a myth, not a science. To say this is a highly complex coding is a thing of chance is simply intellectually dishonest, and I dare say it's even laughable. It makes me ask with some level of sarcasm, who is desperately clutching to a dying religion now? Under the scrutiny of modern science, Darwinian theory has very little to do with actual known science. Because discoveries of real science, Darwinian theories have now more in common with religious zealots of a sacred yet dying religion rather than open science-minded people. Anthony Flew was also quoted as saying, "I have always said I will go where the evidence leads me." It is shameful that more scientifically minded people are not as honest as he was. As recent as this year, even more amazingly highly complex knowledge has come out about science of DNA, such as the highly complex nanomachinery at work in each cell. I challenge you to look it up. These new discoveries cast even more doubt on the already weak and sickly delusion that there is no intelligent creator at work in our lives and bodies.